time whether we're going to see him continue with that drop opener. Excuse me, he went for the mines in the last game. You mentioned that the Hellions are sometimes the way to go there as well. So, yeah, I think we can pretty much rely on time to go for that sort of same bio tank kind of play. Oh, well, that's not a bad start.
Yeah, slows down the natural. Obviously, the probe is going to die, but, you know, eye for an eye. Slowing down the natural is very, very nice. It's a good edge there for Cyan. Now, Reaper should go across the map, though. He seems like he's afraid because he knows that it's about Adept o'clock. And he's like, ooh, my natural ain't done yet. I don't want that SCV to die again.
Yeah, fair enough. Play it safe. He's still got a chance to get in there and try and scout. Cyan's made the buildings on the side of his main to make that a little bit more difficult, gives him some vision there as well. But yeah, there we go. Adept o'clock has arrived and he pushes that away very nicely. And that CC gets finished, so we can breathe easy.
Well, he might be a little bit not easy on the breathing just because he hasn't gotten any information of Cyan whatsoever apart from the fact that he has a single Adept. He's just now going across the map to scout the Protoss to see what's going on. You know, I mean, there could be anything right now. It could be a pylon in the corner of the map with a Dark Shrine about to be placed down there. It could be a charge lot all in. You don't know until you get in there and you have a look. So in a minute, time will be able to breathe properly again. Just a minute.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes here. There's previously we've seen Cyan go for the blink and then straight into like a 3 basey Forge Robo kind of deal. Oh, rip. Wow,
rip.
Nice denial there. But yeah, we'll see if he's looking to do any pressure with this blink once it's closer to finishing. Because I think, you know, pressure is kind of the answer to keeping time honest here and hopefully keeping him off your back. And in the meantime, time's gone for a very normal looking kind of Raven opener. We've seen this a little bit from Terrans recently.
I mean, because time still has no information, you know, he's seen an Adept, he's seen a Stalker. He doesn't really know anything else about what Cyan's doing. He's going for like the most standard TVP opener where he's like, all right, I'm going to get a couple tanks to get a Raven. So I'm safe theoretically against a lot of stuff. Right now, time is actually going to be up against the, you know, potential blink pressure here from Cyan as his Prism is about to go across the map. He's finished up a bunch more warp gates, so it's the 4-gate blink build, the old parting build that he defeated Maru with in GSL last season. And Time's build normally would be set up to deal with this, but, you know, against this build, obviously if you know what's coming, you have an extra bunker in the main base, you keep your tank production prioritized over anything else.
I guess,
I mean, here for the Terran.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit sticky. He does have one tank set up in there already, and his buildings are away from that initial ledge as well in that sort of more diagonal direction, although it's kind of a bit of a blob of buildings there. But his tech lab, for example, isn't under direct assault, but all the Stalkers in here immediately, and he targets down that siege tank. The Raven goes down as well. War Prism is disabled, but this is a lot of Stalkers to clean up.
Oh my god. And the Stalkers get on top of that tank and finish it off. They've kind of lost their ride, though. That Prism is very, very low. If you can get rid of all the Marines, no doubt that Prism continues to be a threat. In fact, it finds a corner of the main base to warp in another round of 4 Stalkers here. Cyan doing tons of SCV damage to time. Can he keep the Stalkers alive? Can he trade well enough? As long as he doesn't lose all these Stalkers and lose that Prism, should be fine. Keep in mind that Time does have 3 CCs while he's down a lot of probes. He still has an army. He just needs to not die here. Oh, man, I think actually this much SCV damage and Cyan keeping the Prism alive as well. Time actually taking a massive blow there. Great start for Cyan.
Man, that War Prism was so close to death. But he manages to keep it alive. Yep, sniping off some... Oh, no. Oh, no. He cannot lose that. Get it out!
He denied it! Split second, he denied it. Not even a second, milliseconds there. He denies Stim. What a play from Cyan. Really getting value from this blink opener. Holy crap.
That's got to be it.
Yeah.
GG, Cyan. What a beast.
Beast indeed. Bringing the Korean 4-gate blink build over to China. And Time looking very unprepared for it. You know, that build that Time was going for, the setup with your production, you actually can deal with that. but you need that extra bunker, and you need to keep that tank production going on. You need 2 tanks, and I feel like 2 bunkers and your army sort of resting on the ramp or at least near it, with those bunkers able to be filled up by Marines to be able to actually handle that. Unfortunately, Time wasn't aware. I think the denial of scouting, even rolling it way back to actually getting that SCV on the natural, just made Time take a long while to get that Reaper across the map. Man, no information whatsoever. Cyan just caught him with his pants down.
Yeah, really nicely done. This is the moment that we were waiting for. We're like, yes, the Reaper's going to scout. And then, oh, actually, it's going to get totally shredded. Yep.
That's right.
And, I mean, he's sort of like half set up for this, right? But it's just not enough. You need more, as you said. You need the bunkers in place. That War Prism getting so hurt early on looked a bit promising for Time. He might have been able to shut it down, but the amount of damage that he did to the SCVs and then getting that second warp in, just way too much.
You're absolutely right, Zeph. If the Prism dies there, that was the intention there of Time, is obviously interference measures so he doesn't get another warp in round, or at least delay it a little bit longer. The Widowmine hit it, but the Widowmine connection to the Warp Prism is not enough damage to kill it. He needs a couple more shots on it from Marines or a Viking or something like that to actually kill the Warp Prism. And also the fact that these tanks kept getting picked off. Cyan doing it just right here and finding himself the victory. And this was insane, getting that pick off there. The couple seconds left in the bank. That absolutely was the game-ending move there from Cyan. And without any tanks, stimless Marines, no combat shield, no nothing, you're going to go down here, and Time just taps out. Brilliant, brilliant build order choice.
Yeah, that's it. He eliminated the last possible option for Time, which is just to grab everything and go and hope. And so, yeah, awesome. 1 apiece now, and we're going to be heading into which map? Everdream? For map number 3. And that should be getting underway shortly. I don't know. That was nice from Cyan. I don't know if it would work twice. You'd have to have that similar situation where he just doesn't get any information out of you. But definitely seeing already a switch in gears to Cyan, who we haven't seen do too much of the hyper aggressiveness off a couple of bases yet. So I like it. It's looking promising for him. This is, making Time work for the win here.
Absolutely. Cyan is absolutely no slouch. We saw him get a map off Time earlier. Now, I really like the gear switch and the mentality, or at least the way that he's been playing this matchup as well. Cyan's normally been that double forge, mass gateway kind of guy, or just a regular blink opener, fast third kind of Protoss. But seeing him throw out some aggressive builds, remember game 1 was actually like a 3-gate aggression without blink, without Warp Prism until a little bit later. And then this time going full into 4-gate blink aggression. I love it from Cyan. I love that aggression. Can he do it again and actually get the advantage in this series? He is in the bottom left here, Cyan.
And in the top right, in the red, this is Time. Still haven't really had a long game yet. The last 2 were pretty quick still. In fact, most of the games we've covered in this region haven't exactly been long. I think we've had maybe 1 long PvP and 1 long PvZ.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think the Eternal Empire game between Max Zed and Cyan, I think was, or was it Firefly? There's a really long PvP on Eternal Empire. Yeah, so it was Firefly there in the group stages. And then the PvZ between Silky and Firefly on Ice and Chrome. Yeah, those are the 2 like 20 to 30-minute games.
Keeping it pretty quick. And I think that's the right thing for Cyan, right? Do you want to go late game against Time? Probably not.
No, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that Time is just so good from the mid to late game, especially if he gets to that comfort zone of having his 5 racks production, 3 bases worth of production, bio mine pressure. That is just his bread and butter. That's how he demolishes everyone in this region. Just don't let him get there. That advice that people will tell lower level players that are like, I can't beat late game Zerg, I can't beat ultras.
Can't beat carriers.
Don't let him get there. I can't beat mass carrier. If he's maxed out on 200 supply carrier, I can't beat that. I'm like, yeah, well, It's pretty hard to beat.
Just kill him, dude.
Yeah,
That's
just
what
go
you
kill
gotta
him.
do.
Don't let him get there. Go kill him.
Yeah. Just play like Maru.
That's right. It's just play. It's just play like TY again. There's a bit of a meta right now with the just play like. All right. It started with just play like Maru, then it was just play like TY, then it was just play like Maru again, and now it's just play like TY again.
Okay. I'm outdated.
Right. That's okay. You know what? After actually, you know what? I'm not going to talk about GSL just in case I trigger anyone that hasn't seen GSL just yet. I don't want to
no spoiler,
No spoilers.
Good group today, though. I had fun.
It was fun. Yes. Ooh. Proxy starboard from Time. I like it. Hello here. You know what? This might be the Medevac Hellion Ferry. Terrans like to do that, but this time the Hellions will be hitting a lot earlier. Cyan with the Proxy Pylon as well. Oh my goodness. I do believe this is for a Proxy Gateway, Zeph. Both players are about to be very aggressive in this game.
Oh yeah, this can get really spicy, and it can get really messy too if you've got stuff coming along at similar timings from both players. And the first few Marines here are actually lining up at this ramp, and with this probe, he's gonna see how many units are out the front here. Adepts come together to try and deal with that. A little much for the moment, but he's going to be able to keep an eye on that. And look at that, 3 Stalkers coming in, and they head straight towards that main base corner where that starport is.
Looks like Cyan is actually reading Time like a book here. He did actually see those Hellions with the probes, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yep. Cyan's got 3 Stalkers here, but the Hellion is a race car. It's a little bit faster than the Stalker. Scooting and shooting past the Stalkers here. Getting into that mineral line. Oh, God. Oh, God.
That's
Ooh, wow.
probably
2 observers? Me? Yeah, one of them's me.
All right, let's
go. It's actually both of us. All right, we're out. We're out. We're leaving.
Oh, wow.
That's, guys, see that ENB Obs C and ENB Obs B? That's us. That's me and Zeph.
That's our 400 ping to China server.
That's right.
Yeah, luckily for us, we have a feed, so we're all good. We can leave these guys alone, and it won't happen again. We've been taking a little risk, I confess, trying to stay in the game, so we get that like 1 sec quicker feed. But that's the price we pay. Sometimes we got to get kicked out.
Yeah, well, as we can see, the Hellions sped past the 3 Stalkers and killed 11 probes. And that's safe to say that is a monstrous amount of damage here for Time. He's looking very, very good at the start. The Adepts trying to even the playing field. Don't find anywhere near as much damage. Oh, no, we're miscontrolling that Stalker. What's he doing? He's going to lose everything. Cyan.
Uh-oh. Oh, man. Saves it at the last second there. But 13 probes have gone down to the 5 SCVs. And with the Cyclone, he is going to be cleaning that up. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Liberator from Time at least being deflected, so I guess that's a glass half full for Cyan, and unfortunately it's a glass of a really undrinkable beverage, like, you know, battery acid or something. It's a glass of something very nasty. And I guess the Liberator, you know what? That glass of battery acid started to turn into some strawberry lemonade. Starting to taste a little bit better.
Yeah, and this starport's also not going to make it home, so yeah, getting a little bit more bang for his buck here. That's got to feel good after losing so much in that initial attack there. He's actually heading into Blink and the Robo as well from here, while Time back at home, a few more workers, but he's still got a really nice defensive position.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be in game to be able to check the gateway count here from Cyan, but unfortunately we are going to have to rely on purely Insano. There it is, just 3 gateways. This should be holdable from Time. Obviously with Blink, you can jump on top of that tank, but there's 2 tanks, so Cyan says no tank you, pulls back, eats a Stalker though.
Oh my god, Fear Dragon, is that you?
I've been spending too much time with Fear Dragon lately, I'll admit.
Oh dear. Yeah, he nopes out of that pretty quick, realizing there's just too much here from Time. But it looks like he's happy to take the other option, which is just to kind of sit out here and delay Time from doing too much. You know, if he wants to take a third, he's going to have to deal with the Stalkers. It also lets him know if Time picks everything up and leaves to do some damage back on Cyan's side of the map. Maybe he can play the similar thing that he did on Death Aura, trying to snipe off a unit here and there on the way back. And yeah, scan goes down from time. He hasn't had too much scouting information since that attack.
No, not really. Seeing Prism come out here for Cyan, a lot more gateways. And he is just on 2 gases here, Zeph. So this is a very gateway-heavy build from Cyan. It means he's going to be at the expense of his late-game tech. So, you know, things like Storm, Colossus, all that sort of stuff's going to be a lot later, if at all, in this game. But he's going to have a lot of gateway units. This is the Cyan that I more expected in this series.
Yeah. And the third CC has started for time. Now, Cyan getting in there will see the fact that it is there. Oh, nice catch, too. Sees the blur, scans, gets rid of that vision. And yeah, we saw some success with the Warp Prism already. It'd be nice to get a repeat performance. He's already got 1 missile turret on the edge of the map there.
The anti-Warp Prism turret.
Yep. And also sending out his own drop at the same time.
This is a much bigger army for the Terran versus the Protoss, by the way. So while the Protoss does have a lot of gateways, they need to start sending in some more Zealots specifically. Another round of those would be very, very nice as charges done here. Stalkers just doing what they do best, blinking out and trying to pick off what they can. You know, grabbing a tank would be fantastic. So Cyan might get one. No, not quite.
No, not quite able to there. War Prism coming into the natural where there isn't a missile turret. One of those medevacs goes down as well. Nice catches for Cyan. If he can get some counter damage here, that'll set him up nicely. Marines try and target that War Prism, get met by a Zealot, and now he's forced to retreat into the bunker here. The War Prism swings on into the main at the same time. We've got the Marines and tanks trying to set up here, but Cyan is right on top of his army.
Cyan Zealots get rid of the tanks, but can he get rid of the bio here? Ooh, looks like the Zealots get taken out, but more of the natural. The Prism still whooping in more. He gets 15 SCVs. Time attacking into that third Nexus. Cyan doing critical damage to the economy of the Terran, though. And I think with another warp-in round, not even, he's actually going to clean up time here. This is beautiful for Cyan. He's in the winning position.
Oh, he's looking so sick. That 1 medevac has -2 health left. And he's going to catch another couple here. Oh my goodness, time is falling apart.
Yeah, he certainly is. Time making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes in this game. And as a result, Cyan will capitalize and continue to extend his lead. It's now 53 workers to 34. And also keep in mind that he has a lot of production right now. Time dropping in the natural of Cyan. Gonna get some probes. He gets 7 there, which is nice. It's not a ton of probes at the moment for Cyan. But still, this damage is so catastrophic to the Terran.
Yeah, immense. He's getting a little bit more done in the main there now, targeting down the Zealots and trying to go back to focusing on probes. But yeah, I guess having 3 SCVs, 3 CCs worth of SCV production is helpful here as well to try and play catch up a little bit. But Cyan hasn't really taken his foot off the pedal long enough for time to be confident in taking out another base and getting fully saturated yet. His time doing what he does best, just keeping up that pressure with the bio forces that he has. Yeah, Cyan, man, 3 bases, starting to get immortals in there as well, looking pretty deadly.
Time stimming forward to try and catch that Prism. At least he'll get rid of this pylon, but the Prism does escape with its life. Keep in mind that while, you know, this is definitely a really good spot for Cyan, it's not as bad as it potentially could be because he only was on 2 gases this whole time. Keep in mind that, once again, he doesn't have tier 3 tech of any kind, no robotics base, still no Templar archives, and he's only been on single forge. So the upgrade situation, while it's better for the Protoss, it's about to be even for the Terran, with both players about to be on 1-1. So it's not actually over. It's actually very playable still for both players.
Oh, that third base is in danger there.
And this thing's
past each other.
Yeah, this actually is a nice move from Cyan. Losing this third will definitely be a bit of a death sentence for time, but it looks like he might get the third Nexus as a response, though. Oh, man, this game's getting weird, Zeph.
Not the most defensible position here for time, though. He's got 2 mines, which will help out a lot. That's a lot of Protoss on the front doorstep. I'm not sure either player has enough to deal with each other's armies here. The poor SCVs get locked out of the main base. They're going to have to fight, and that's going to be huge worker damage, but at the same time, oh my goodness, so many probes going down there. Another Nexus is going to get killed as well. The natural for time is saved.
It is, but unfortunately, Cyan's been knocked down to 1 base. He's lost his robo facility. This +2 attack forge, I don't think that's going to happen. The main's about to go down. Cyan's about to lose all of his mining. He's only got a handful of probes left in the main base. He's got 43 probes out somewhere on the map. Are they all here in the main?
I think they might be. I'm not sure he has a probe anywhere else. And, well, some of them may escape. He's actually evacuating from the main base right now, trying to attack into the Terran base at the same time. Uh-oh, Cyan being revealed here, but is there enough Terran to clean up this Protoss army?
There isn't, but if Time still keeps this army alive on the other side of the map, he may still be able to pick a fight and win. The Warp Prism here, juggling those Immortals in the main base was fantastic for Cyan. He has forced the Terran to lift up 2 command centers and a few production facilities going to the Mount Cyril in the top right of the map here. Meanwhile, Time is cleaning up what remains of Cyan. We are in full base race mode, and Cyan's army cannot be recalled to the other side of the map, and he only has room in Warp Prism for so many units. Time is going to go base race here against the Protoss, and you know what they say, never base race a Terran.
Man, if Time had focused down some of those probes as they were leaving, or, well, all of the probes, then he wouldn't have been able to make that extra Nexus, and he could have had a bit of an easier ride into killing all the structures here. Now, the Terran, he can hide some in the airspace, and Cyan isn't going to be able to do anything about those, so
no.
It's really about being able to clean up everything that Cyan has by starting by getting some Stalkers would be pretty good for him.
The priority targets here for Cyan, I mean, obviously any pickoff you can get here is really fantastic, but the priority targets are those medevacs. You get rid of the medevacs, that means that Time can't continue to stim. He can't continue to trade as well as possible with this bio. I mean, grabbing Widow Mines would be fantastic. Picking off a Marauder here and there would be fantastic. Time is moving through the middle of the map here. He's got his sights set on that final structure for Cyan, which is that one Nexus. Cyan does have a lot more money in the bank to be able to produce more. Time can't produce anything, but he does have a lot more, you know, facilities flying in the top right of the map. It could potentially be a draw here. Oh, no. Time pulls back, lets the Widow Mines burrow. The Widow Mines just attack into the Zealots, clears up most of the Zealots there. I think Time might be able to actually pick up his units and come back with a bit more medevac energy, but no, he stands and fights, picking off tons of probes here. Is this an overextension from Time? These Immortals are shredding his absolute... Oh, my God, the Marauders are all dead. Time... Not quite enough to fight the army of Cyan, and Cyan is going to go to match point here against the Terran favorite, the #1 player in China. Ooh, starting to feel the chills a little bit, Zeph. Starting to get excited here. What a series so far.
Oh, I'm very amped right now. This is, it could happen. Cyan could actually knock him down to the losers match. I feel like we've had some unexpected outcomes already tonight with the 3-0 from Silky there. Could Cyan take a 3-1 over Time? In my head, I have to admit, I was thinking a 3-1 in the favor of Time.
Me too. That was actually my my prediction in my brain. I didn't even speak it out loud to you, but you know, as an Archon, we are connected through the color. So that is true. I was feeling that 3-1 as well for Time, but it is actually heading in the other direction here. A pretty nasty little game there from Cyan, managing to find some good damage. A lot of the key moments for Cyan was him just getting around the scouting of Time, you know, going around his army, going around his spotting units, spotting anything. And just there was actually a lack of spotting units in general here from Time, and Cyan really used that prism to the utmost, finding tons of SCV damage, forcing the Terran into really awkward situations where he has to commit to try and find counter damage and then punishing him for that. Now, this was brilliant from Time. He is forced in a full base race here. He picks off all the next side, which means no recalls. He also denies upgrades, which is fantastic. And normally a Terran will win base trades, but there was a battle, Zeph. There was a battle in this game.
Yeah, it's that spot right there where the probes start leaving, because I'm pretty sure all of the probes that he had were in that base. Imagine he targets down those probes. I think he then wins, I guess, or it's a draw, because like Cyan he may not want to engage Time, and Time could just avoid him and basically just be like, nope, not fighting, I've got structures. And yeah, it would have been a weird situation, but man, that's a really good win for Cyan here, evacuating those probes, making the Nexus, and then this attack, it was just too much. Those Immortals, oh my goodness, absolute carnage there.
You're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't in that situation for the Terran, because if you stand and fight, you have to make sure that you win the battle, otherwise you lose the game. And also the other thing is that if you load up those medevacs, or if you try and run away, then the Protoss can potentially blink forward and start picking off some of those critical units, making sure that you win the next time that you fight. You know, maybe the better call there for Time is to pull back, maybe get a bit more medevac energy after the mines clear out a lot of the Zealots. But it's so hard to call. Of course, we're all theorizing. Let's not theorize about just who's going to win the series or anything. Let's actually experience them for ourselves firsthand. Take a short break. When we return, game number 4 between Cyan and Time. We'll see you then.
Body's moving slow, spinning in the afterglow, dancing till the daylight. 'Cause this love is all night. This love is all right. This love is all night. This love is all right. We can't control it. See explosions in the sky, moving faster than the sun over the horizon. Chance it all to feel alive. Breathe the air just like a fire. We can't control it. See explosions in the sky, moving faster than the sun over the horizon. Chance it all to feel alive. We feel the air. Your voice, but still it's not enough. 'Cause I need us. I swear it's the last time I'm going.
G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back. We are in the middle and getting to the later end here of the best of 5. Our last best of 5 of the evening between Time and Cyan, with Cyan on match point. Oh my goodness. I am Maynard. With me is Zeph. You're watching the DreamHack Summer Chinese Playoffs, day number 2. I fully believe this is actually one of those series that's going to go to the ace match, Zeph.
Yeah, I'm feeling that way. I will be shocked if Cyan takes a 3-1. It's entirely possible, which is so crazy to me at this point in time. We've spent so much of the broadcast being like, oh man, who's gonna beat Time? Like, let's be real here. He's kind of top dog around here. But I don't know. Cyan's looking good. Clearly his preparation's paying off. But I think the tough thing about dealing a blow to Time is keeping him down from that point. He can bounce back. He's got really strong mid game, really strong macro, and that's where he's going to have this ability to recover again and again from the blows that you deal him. So yeah, we're heading into the bigger maps now in maps 4 and 5, Eternal Empire and Ice and Chrome, I believe, are the last 2 remaining. So
that's right.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some of those juicier back and forth macro games out of these guys at this point.
The cool thing about this map is that last time that Time and Cyan played here on Eternal Empire, Time did try to go mech. It didn't work out for him. Cyan actually smacked it back pretty hard. He did take damage, of course, from those mech pushes, but seemed to be a little bit more comfortable in dealing with the Terran mech, or, you know, on the other side of the spectrum, maybe it was Time feeling uncomfortable about playing Protoss, playing mech there for the Terran. He is such a strong bio player. In the series, however, there's been a few uncharacteristic mistakes from Time. Remember on Death Aura, losing the third. Of course, he still won that game. Letting Prisms getting into his infrastructure. He was so good at dealing with Prism harassment in these earlier TVPs. But this time, on the day where it really counts, he's been having a few off games. He pulls his socks up, focuses a little bit harder. We should see a Game 5 here. But let's get into it before we get ahead of ourselves. Eternal Empire is being loaded up. Time and Cyan Game 4. I am so excited for this series, Zeph. I'm so excited that Cyan is on match point. This just blows it way open. I actually have no idea who's going to win this series now.
That's exactly right. So let's find out here on map number 4, Eternal Empire. In the top right, he's the Red Terran, Time.
Yeet. And at the bottom left here on match point, the blue Protoss hero. He is Cyan.
Sickest story, honestly, so far. If he makes it, that would be really something else. Because looking at Cyan's career, has he actually qualified before through like WCS regional qualifiers or anything? I feel like he hasn't actually taken the seed before.
I mean, it's almost always Time. And this region, I think, used to have more slots available for it, but of course, things have changed here in the modern era. He's definitely qualified for... okay, so yes, he actually has qualified in 2019 WCS Fall. But, you know, he's usually second to Time. One time he was actually second to Ayasanu for WESG qualifiers. But, yeah, he in 2019, almost this time last year, qualified for WCS Fall through the Chinese qualifier.
Okay, great. Yeah, so he has made it through, but maybe just not in first place position. And that's where the difference in seeds kind of stings a little bit, right? If you've previously had 2 slots and now you're down to 1, it narrows down that opportunity a lot. So, yeah, really, really hyped for him. I would love to see him win here, not going to lie. But you can't really... lose in this scenario as someone who just enjoys StarCraft, right? Both these guys are sick. Great story either way. And this game is starting to get a little bit closer to seeing those tech choices coming out of these guys.
Yep, we are seeing just the Reaper expanding from Time so far. This map is one of those maps where the Terran will sometimes go fast 3cc if they want to play. You know, if you want to go mech, fast 3cc makes sense. If you want to go bio, fast 3cc is doable, but you definitely have to be very wary. Your standing power is tough without bunkers, tough without defensive tanks as well. High ground positioning, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's true. And this is kind of like the 3-base map, in my opinion. You have a very nicely defensible position as either race. Obviously, like you said, if you get a little bit too greedy, yeah, it's maybe not quite so straightforward, but that's why we do tend to see a few longer games on here. And the other thing I love about this map is the amount of pathways there are to each other's bases. You can definitely swing some drops or some warp prisms around, and I think that's been a strength of Cyan's play so far, is the use of that warp prism and getting zealots in to do some damage in those mineral lines as well.
Oh, I think Time's playing mech again, Zeph. We're seeing multiple barracks here, so maybe not, but going for mag field accelerator is definitely not kosher. That's not a normal build in TVP.
Yeah. I'm not sure we've
Stim
seen
and
this strategy at
Magfield?
all.
What is this?
Wow. Okay, well, this is unique.
The ban. Okay, he cancels it. Starts a tank. Now, this makes sense from Time. It's like sort of a 2-1-1 kind of, except he hasn't got the starport just yet into a tank, but he's trying to get in Cyan's head a little bit. I like it.
Okay. Well, it definitely got inside my head. I'm like, what?
Mine too, yeah.
How does
I mean,
this
it's still
work?
in my head and it doesn't even exist anymore. I'm like, well, the possibilities, what could it mean? Doesn't even matter.
Yeah. He's trolling us a little bit here. Just going into the stim instead, following up with that Stargate, Starport, I should say, and the NG Bay. So grabbing that +1 along the way. But in the meantime, Cyan has stuck with the Twilight tech.
Certainly is. A pretty standard build here from Cyan. You know, it's one of those bigger maps. You have the comfort for it, I feel. As long as your Terran opponent isn't proxying their barracks out in the map, or going for the proxy 1-1-1 or anything like that, which would be wild in Eternal Empire. He's just going for a quick blink opener, third nexus, just getting his extra gateways now. It is a very normal opening here for Cyan, apart from the fact that he is once again getting a little bit light on the gas, a little bit heavier on the gateways.
He definitely loves the style, heading out now to get some vision of his opponent's base. And time is going to be looking pretty normal here, seeing the racks, seeing Stim researching does get popped there by the bio, but he's seen enough at that point. And that +1 and combat shields is now on the way for time as well. So Cyan, having blink finished, looks like he might head out here just a little bit and maybe poke. Don't expect too much of a commitment here. Warp Prism is on the way, so maybe once that's here, we'll see a little bit more out of him.
Yeah. So this style of Cyan, as we brought it up in the last game, still relevant in this game, as it's very, very similar. Ooh, good pick off on that Observer. Always nice to get that. The whole style here of Cyan is to basically be like almost a Zerg Protoss, just swarms and swarms of charge lots and gateway units in general. You do lose your splash damage. You don't have splash damage, but you have so many gateway units that it kind of doesn't matter. You can just you can just A-move with upgrades through your Terran opponent. Speaking of upgrades, not seeing any from Cyan just yet, which could play a factor in this game.
Yeah, where's that Warp Prism at? It must be heading over.
Yeah, it's on the left there, I think. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, the nice thing about time picking off that Observer as well is that he's now lifted up and snuck out of the base with that double drop. There is a pylon on the left, as Insano shows us there, that will spot that and give him a bit of advance warning. So really nice placement there for Cyan. He does have units at home for the defense as well that he can pull in. But very curious to see how this Warp Prism stuff goes as well. Time also starting to move out here a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually a little worried for Cyan here. He has a lot of gateway production, but he's only just starting his forges now. He has no upgrades whatsoever, and he's up against a +1 attack Stim Bio Ball heading across the map with combat shield done. Double drop in the natural, but Cyan spotting pylon, giving him warning enough to warp in those stalkers defensively. Good defense so far. And charge lots in the main base again. Nice move from Cyan. Will it be the same amount of damage as last game? In fact, Time's army is coming back home, so... Oh, Time's attacking his own reactor! He just killed his reactor in his factory! Time!
Wow. Oh my gosh, those mines hurting so many of the SCVs there. One more Zealot warp in, and those are super dead. The medevacs actually pause to start healing those up, and Cyan takes this opportunity to move out on the map. Now, that double drop of time is still on its way home. And did he? No, he didn't kill the Warp Prism. So, yeah, he's still got to think about that. This is a lot from Cyan.
Certainly is, and that push timing from the Terran is denied. It's not going to happen. So this is wonderful for the Protoss. He's completely safe on his side of the map. In fact, he's going to try and pressure the Terran and not let them get their third up without a fight. This actually is very, very wary here. I'm very, very worried for Time at the moment. He's showing a few signs of not being at his not at full capacity, not firing on all cylinders. But Mine is going to get a few of these Zealots. More Zealots where that came from, though. Cyan coming forward with his army. Picks off one of those medevacs to target fire. Blink Stalkers. Reinforcements, though, from the high ground. Time at the moment holding strong.
Yeah, not doing too badly. Bravely moving down that ramp and microing back very nicely. The Warp Prism still here. He could actually snipe that if he finds it with the Vikings. There we go. Going to move into a different position now. Look for the harassment. Uh-oh.
Vikings.
Oh, there's a missile turret too. Vikings, hello, you're on Smoko.
Yeah, Vikings need to get to work here. Time is moving in to try and grab those gateway units. He does have a good sort of minefield set up here, so if Cyan tried to come in from two angles at once, he would very likely, at least lose a bunch of gateway units. It's not likely that he actually cracks the third base and kills a ton of SCVs here.
Yeah.
The economy of Cyan's also not as high as I expected it would be at this time. At this moment, the fourth feels like a little bit late. Maybe he's missed some pro production or something. You know, he's only a worker down on the Terran right now, and it feels like he should be a little bit further ahead than that right at this moment.
It looks like he should start ramping up now with that extra base. Yeah, there we go. Storm in production as well. And that's going to be a huge difference maker in these upcoming fights. Because as you pointed out, sitting on that lower gas for a long time means you don't have as much splash available to you as quickly as you usually would. Now time is moving out again.
Did Cyan ever start any upgrades? Oh, he's got 1-1.
He did.
He
He's
just
got
hasn't
1-1.
started 2-2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was getting really worried there for a second. I was like, did he actually forget to use these forges? He's just forgetting to use them right now. We got a Liberator in the natural. We got a Warp Prism in the main base. Vikings on top of that. Third base also with Zealots action absolutely all over the place.
Yep, time running after those Zealots in the main base. Liberate actually starting to rack up some kills at this fourth base. And Cyan does pull away from there. Looks like time has finally cleaned up all those Zealots. Trading blows, 13 SCVs killed. Pretty nice. And actually still going in the natural there. Finally gets cleaned up by a Marine and a Marauder. Looks like the Liberator also falls at the last second there. So Cyan still finding great success with this Zealot harassment.
And with Storm now, he has that splash damage. So the game's gone long enough for Cyan to be able to get to tier 3. Time does have Ghost production, so he's on tier 3 as well. It looks like both players compositionally have a really good army. It's just going to come down to execution here. Nice pick off from Cyan there, getting the Viking. He got the other one earlier. A charge lot run by a setup on the left side. Looks like Widowmines are still there at the third base for Time to at least soften up the first wave of Zealots. But is there actually a fighting army to clean up these Zealots? It doesn't look like it at the moment. The SCV stacking there to try and avoid the fight. Time still committing with this army across the map. He's not bringing it home to deal with these Zealots, just letting the Widowmines and reinforcements of the barracks deal with that third.
Yeah, I like that he's not deterred here with his main force. He hasn't really had the chance to move all the way across the map yet. Now he scans there. Storm is done. If he can get some nice EMPs there, that could change things. But a big storm there on the left and another big one on the right.
Yeah, the EMPs from Time very late to the party. They came in basically after the storms were cast there, and Time gets pushed back from Cyan's infrastructure. He's not even anywhere near the Nexus. Cyan pushing Time all the way back. If he can get through the bio, that means the medevacs are next, thanks to these Blink Stalkers. And Time still dealing with Zealots at the third base. Cyan is all over him like a rash.
Yeah, continuing to push forward here a bit much. He's going to need to reinforce if he wants to really press the issue there. Also going up through a choke is not ideal, but this Warp Prism is being a huge help. Oh, can he get it? Just barely escapes there. He stims forward and he's trying to get rid of these money units. Gets everything out, but gets the Warp Prism.
That was very important there for Time. That extra warp in of charge lots would have absolutely made it hard for Time to hold at that natural, because the third base is also under attack here. The Zealots getting 10 more SCVs. Time now down 31 workers at the moment against the Protoss, and he's never been able to secure a fourth. In fact, he hasn't even started the fourth. He's in such a weird, rough spot right now against Cyan.
Oh my god, 76 probes. So yes, he lost that fight. He lost the Prism, he lost an Archon. Not the biggest deal when you've got a sick economy, and Time is struggling on the mineral front with these mules coming down. That's going to come up a little bit. But even this mine not able to find a little bit of a win here. Now there is, I think, a drop coming out from Time across the top of the map there. Oh, excuse me, double Liberator. And a drop coming down the right-hand side. So Time is going to try and turn up the heat here to try and get something happening for himself. He's got to go into recovery mode a bit here.
And he absolutely needs to, Zeph. He's sitting back and just taking blows from Cyan. Has not been working out for him so far in this game. Stimming into this base. Looks like he might be able to get canceled on this Nexus. Double Liberator on the left side. A drop of units on the right as well. So it might be medevacs with mines in it potentially here from Time. Got shot down by the Stalkers, I think. There come the Liberators in the natural. And some dead probes.
Yeah, that'll rack up some kills really fast. And there we go. Nice reaction time for Cyan. That's short of seeing it before they even siege up. That's probably the best you can hope for in that situation. However, he's still very healthy on that probe count. He's also moving into the Dark Shrine now, and we've seen what havoc he can wreak with those as well. So yeah, Time's struggling to get a bit of damage done here. And he's moving out once again. These mines take care of all the Zealots but one.
I feel like at this particular moment, you try and wall off that third a little bit better. He keeps taking way too much Zealot damage at that third. Oh, a massive charge lot warp in the main base. Ghost just popped out of that barracks as well. Doesn't have cloak on those Ghosts. Goes for the EMP there to soften up the Zealots. The Liberator comes back home as well. So the Zealots do get cleaned up. And it doesn't look like this is going to get a whole lot done for Cyan. That's once again, Time is not on the Protoss' side of the map doing anything. He is getting a very huge army supply though. Cyan's throwing a lot away here, and he doesn't really have a giant bank. So is Cyan starting to head towards too cost inefficient for his own good here in this game? It's been a lot of fights, a lot of Protoss Guinness have died in this game.
He is going into Colossi as well with extended thermal lance, and I feel like once that's out, that's even scarier for Time, because this is Time putting all his eggs in one basket at this point. He doesn't have a fourth. Cyan's on his fifth now, and the tech is starting to get a bit out of control for Cyan, so he's really got to make something happen here, or he might be going into the lower bracket. Liberators come in, but there's Stalkers waiting. One of them might go down before it can get too much done. The mines do burrow.
Ooh, and a storm on the right side there. Got a lot of High Templar with a lot of energy on the right. Those Ghosts need to be in position to EMP those High Templar. The Colossus also getting some nice splash damage on here. Prison with the High Templar getting juggled there for Cyan, but there's the EMPs. Does Time have enough fire to actually clean up this army, though? The answer is no, especially with those warped in charge lots. Cyan deflects Time once again. Oh my god. The upgrade situation also starting to catch up a little bit. Time is about to have 3-3 for his bio. Cyan lagging behind a little bit. He's missed +3 armor as well on that Forge. So that is the one thing that's going well for the Terran, but Cyan keeps winning engagements on his side of the map.
He keeps throwing Zealots in there as well. There's just no economic recovery here for Time. He's got to rely on this army supply. Now the 3-3 helps a lot. It's not impossible to win here if you can take a really good engagement, but the Colossi are going to help a lot. Vikings coming in as well, and Cyan actually doesn't have the hugest force here. I think Time might be able to punch through, but that's a lot of splash and more Colossi on the right there. Archons coming in as well. Is this too much for Time?
I think it might be, Zeph. Those Colossi are dealing with Vikings and Bio here, and normally that is tough, but it's just one Viking. Once again, the third base grabbing Time's attention here with those Zealots. This has been a problem for him all game long, a real thorn in his side. As Cyan continues this chokehold of a TVP, he's up a lot of supply right now for the first time in this game. He is taking a very convincing lead. He's got DT Blink finished. He's sending DTs in there. Time's not thinking about DTs right now. He's thinking about this fight. He comes forward with a last-ditch effort. Is there enough here from the Terran? He's bringing in the last couple of Marauders. The answer is absolutely not. Time has nowhere near enough to hold this. Cyan is all over him. And he's going to force him to tap here, Zev. Cyan, an unbelievable series, is just going to close it out here by just pushing the Terran into an unwinnable location.